Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 On this auspicious morning, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 6, chapter 7, entitled Indra Offense Brihaspati, and text was 13 or 12, we remember.
I put here 13, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I think it's 13. Ya paramestyam kisanam.
Ya
Paramestam kisanam. Adhitisthana kanchana.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Yah paramestyam dishanam.
Yah paramestyam dishanam.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor. Dharmam tena param viduhu. Yah paramestyam dishanam. Adhitisthana kanchana. Pratyutishthet iti bruyor. Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
The next person, please.
Yah paramestyam dishanam.
Yah paramestyam dishanam.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Ya paramestyam dishanam.
Ya paramestyam dishanam.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Adhitisthana kanchana.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Pratyutishthet iti bruyor.
Dharmam tena param viduhu.
Dharmam tena param viduhu. Word by word. Yaha.
Yaha.
Anyone who.
Anyone who.
Paramestyam.
Paramestyam.
Royal.
Royal.
Dishanam.
Dishanam.
Throne.
Throne.
Adhitisthana.
Adhitisthana.
Sitting on.
Sitting on.
Na. Not. Kanchana.
Kanchana.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Pratyutishthet.
Pratyutishthet.
Should rise before.
Should rise before.
Iti. Thus. Bruyu.
Bruyor.
Those who say.
Those who say.
Dharmam.
Dharmam.
The gods of religion.
The gods of religion.
They.
They.
Na.
Not.
Param.
Param.
Higher.
Higher.
Viduhu.
Viduhu.
No.
No.
His translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. If a person says one who is situated on the exalted throne, the king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a Brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur says in this regard that when a president or king is sitting on his throne, he does not need to show respect to everyone who comes within his assembly, but he must show respect to superiors like his spiritual master, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. There are many examples on how he should act. When Lord Krishna was sitting on his throne and Narada fortunately entered his assembly, even Lord Krishna immediately stood up with his officers and ministers to offer respectful obeisances to Narada. Narada knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna knew that Narada was his devotee. But although Krishna is the Supreme Lord and Narada is the Lord's devotee, the Lord observed the religious etiquette. Since Narada was a brahmachari, a brahmana, and an exalted devotee, even Krishna, while acting as a king, offered his respectful obeisances unto Narada. Such is the conduct visible in the Vedic civilization, a civilization in which the people do not know how to represent how the representative of Narada and Krishna should be respected, how society should be formed, and how one should advance in Krishna consciousness. Society concerned only with manufacturing new cars and new skyscrapers every year and then breaking them to pieces and making new ones may be technologically advanced, but it is not a human civilization. Human civilization is advanced when its people follow the Chaturvarnya system, the system for orders of life. There must be ideal first-class men to act as advisors, second-class men to act as administrators, third-class men to produce food and protect cows, and fourth-class men who obey the three higher classes of society. One who does not follow the standard system of society should be considered a fifth-class man. Society without Vedic laws and regulations will not be very helpful to humanity. As stated in this verse, Dharmam tena param viduhu, such a society does not know the aim of life and the highest principle of religion. Magyana tinarandasya jnanansana salakaya saksur unmilitam ina tasmai sri kurave namaha. This verse was Ya paramestyam dhisanam adhististana kanchana parayuttisteti bruyur dharmam tena param viduhu. If a person says one who is situated on the exalted throne and a king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. So I think this is King Indra is speaking. Now he is regretting that he did not properly respect his spiritual master, Brihaspati. And in this text, he is saying that if somebody thinks that he doesn't have to stand up from the throne and offer his respects to a superior personality who might be a brahmana or a great spiritual master, then this person does not know the superior religious principles. This is like a religious principle to always offer respects to spiritually more advanced persons. It's an etiquette, as Srila Prabhupada was explaining in this verse. But how do we know who is more spiritually advanced? Therefore, we should follow the etiquette as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has enjoined in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much pleased when he saw that his followers, they were following this Vaishnava etiquette. Means that we always offer respects to superiors and those who are like seniors to us. And we always are ready to serve such persons in our Vaishnava society. And then we make friendships with those who are on equal level with us. And then those who are like less advanced or experienced in Krishna consciousness, then to those persons we show our mercy by guiding and instructing them and giving them all kinds of help in Krishna consciousness. There is no room for being proud of one's position and acting proudly and arrogantly in Krishna consciousness. if somebody is doing it, he has not understood where he is and who he should be. We don't know always who is more advanced, less advanced, but if we follow this formula that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, then immediately, if somebody is senior to us, then we expect that he is like a superior to us. It's not always so that those who are like seniors to us, that they are more advanced than we are. But this is etiquette. Still we offer respects. Remember how Ramasandra Puri came to Puri, Jagannath Puri. Ramasandra Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a disciple of Ishvara Puri, who was disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So in this way, Ramasandra Puri was superior to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a senior because he was the god brother of the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Naturally, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed great respect to Ramasandra Puri. However, it so happened that Ramasandra Puri, he was a criticizer, who was criticizing the devotees. So his policy was serve prasad to devotees. It's very good, this service to serve prasad to devotees. But he was tricky. He was some evil idea in the background. So he was distributing prasad to devotees, and then he gave more. Or they didn't want to take anymore, but he forced them to take. And when they then ate more, then he started to criticize them. That just see these followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I have heard that they eat too much, they enjoy eating, and now I can see it myself. So they are fallen because they cannot control their tongue. And this happened always regularly for a long period of time. And then once he went to the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he saw that there were ants on the floor. And then he started to criticize Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that just see this sannyasi, he is secretly eating sweets in his room. Therefore, there are ants on the ground searching for sugar. Although to the purport of this verse, Srila Prabhupada explains that this was not yet evidence that there are ants, that somebody is eating sweets in his room, because ants are there everywhere in the Puri. I remember in Mayapur also I had bread from Finland, and I went to Mayapur once, and in my backpack there was some bread, my lunch pack, which I ate during the journey. And some was left, and I left it on my backpack there, and then after 1 or 2 days I checked, I took them out, and there were so many ants there. They were eating my bread. So I had to put it out with the ants. So there are, in Mayapur and also Jagannath Puri, there are ants everywhere, and you cannot prove anything by seeing the ants somewhere that somebody is eating sweets there. So, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't argue, he didn't complain anything, he just accepted the chastisement Ramasandra Puri and offered always his obeisance to Ramasandra Puri. Because he followed the etiquette that this Ramasandra Puri, obviously he was not very much advanced because he was a criticizer, but because he was a senior devotee, and Lord Chaitanya wanted to show by his example that we always follow the etiquette and respect the senior devotees, and he offered his respects to Ramasandra Puri. Of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his followers, they were very angry. to Ramasanta Puri that they didn't show their anger, but behind his back they were speaking that we should throw this man out from the Puri. They asked from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he said, no, he's like my father, that we should respect him. So he tolerated and followed etiquette. And then it is said in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that then one day, by the arrangement of the destiny, Ramasanta Puri decided to leave Puri. He left. And after that, the devotees were very happy. They were really, really happy, and like a great burden has taken off from their shoulders. And then they again had a nice feast. Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also could eat more. Because when the Ramasanta Puri started to criticize there, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cut his meal to half, what he took before. But now Ramasanta Puri left and he returned again to what he ate before. Devotees also. So, what can we learn from this? This is a very good lesson that although so-called senior devotees sometimes might be troublesome to us, we don't openly criticize them. We just respect them. But of course we can keep little distance. We don't have to associate so closely with them if they are criticizers. Keep a distance, but don't criticize. Just offer respect. This is a devotee is chanting the holy name and doing devotional service. Okay, my respects. But it's not the common thing that senior devotees are troublesome. Usually they're quite nice. But actually, this is my experience. Those who I consider to be senior to mine, they have been quite nice devotees, and always given me some guidance and instructions in Krishna consciousness. So I don't have any reason to complain. Rarely it has happened that somebody has been difficult or troublesome. But then we try to tolerate at least for some time that kind of persons. And if the situation is too difficult, then we just go to some other place. But this is like the ultimate solution to the problem. Not so that they always going from one temple to another temple, because there is always somebody with whom I cannot go well with. So Indra is regretting that he offended Brihaspati, and this is a very good sign also. If we do some offenses against somebody, then we can regret. And this is good, because this regret what we have done, this cleanses our heart from this contamination and offense. And if we even apologize somebody that we have offended, then it's done. This offense, it's done. It doesn't harm us anymore. And if we cannot do that, then we at least can pray, Krishna, please give me some chance to apologize this person. And in the heart we can always regret that why did I say like that. This is it's a question controlling the tongue. As we know, the tongue has two these functions: taste food and to speak, articulate words. And we should control this so that we don't eat too much. We eat sufficiently Krishna prasad, not too much. And then we speak beneficial words to others which are pleasing, not agitating. That is said in Bhagavad Gita. That is the austerity of the body, threefold austerity of the body in the mode of goodness, austerity of the body, speech, and mind in the mode of goodness. The austerity of the speech is what I said, that speak the truthful, pleasing, truthful, beneficial words which are pleasing and which are not agitating others. This truthfulness does not mean that we hurt others by saying somebody that you have a big nose and you look ugly, you are stinking. Okay, that's truthfulness maybe in some cases, but it's not meant that we use this truthfulness to hurt others. This is envy. So truthfulness, rather it means something else. That we can say that this material world is a place and distress, and we should take shelter of Krishna, and we should chant the holy name and things like that. Things like truthfulness. Now Indra is regretting in many verses, he is saying this verse, and this often happens that we do something wrong. Then we are doing something wrong. It takes some time before we realize what we have done, especially when we do unknowingly. You know, not many times, but sometimes we may do some offenses unknowingly. We don't know that my words offended somebody. For example, or my behavior. There is example of some Brahmana who was handicapped. In Vrindavan, he was walking and he passed by Sanatana Goswami, who was in meditation. And his meditation, Sanatana Goswami, at that point, he was absorbed in Krishna Lila. And there was some incident in Krishna Lila which was funny. And Sanatana Goswami was laughing. And then this Brahmana, he thought, because he was handicapped and his way of walking was a little bit troublesome, he thought that Sanatana Goswami was laughing at him. So he was offended. Unnecessary, but he thought like this. And then he complained to, who was that? Was it Jiva Goswami? I don't think, Rupa Goswami, maybe. Rupa, yeah. Complained to Rupa about that. And Rupa Goswami, then he explained what was going on there, that he was not laughing to you, but he was in meditation laughing something. At the same time, Sanatana Goswami, he felt that he had little lost his taste for chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and he was wondering why this happened. And then this Brahmana came back and begged forgiveness that he was thinking like that. And then Sanatana Goswami understood why he had lost little taste for chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and he apologized this Brahmana about laughing at the same time. But Brahmana, of course, he said that that was okay, because I understood you were absorbed in Leela, you were not laughing at me. So in this way, this incident was settled. But this may sometimes happen that we say something unknowingly, something that somebody takes it as an offense or is like displeased or hurted by our words. And then later on we understand what has happened, and then we try to apologize that person, that sorry that I said something, that I understand that maybe it was a little unpalatable to you, but I didn't mean that. And in this story, then we will see what will happen. Some very serious incident will take place, because if we offend something, we may get some reactions, but they are not so severe as they are to heavenly planets. If there somebody offends somebody else, then the reactions are very heavy. They may fall down to earthly planet immediately for this offense, for example. Prabhupada here mentions about the civilized society that in this Vedic civilization where there is Varna, Ashrama, Dharma system is followed, and this is considered to be civilized society, but this does not only mean that there is this like this Varnas and Ashramas, but it means also that the behavior of the persons in different Varnas and Ashramas is like perfect. They know how to behave properly, not acting enviously toward each others, with respect to everybody. And this is like civilized society. There are 4 Varnas and Sudras, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, and they always respect those who are above them, like Sudras, they respect all. Vaishyas, they respect these Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, and Kshatriyas respect Brahmanas, and Brahmanas respect the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and every Varnas still respect each others also. But this is special respect to those who are superior, but does not mean that they scorn or contempt those who are lower. They respect them also. But it's according to etiquette how they show this respect. Although somebody may respect an outcast person also, it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane kavihastini luennoitsija svabhagatsa panditas samadarsinaha. It goes, a humble sage, by the virtue of true knowledge, sees on equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater. So the dog-eater is outcast, but this sage, he sees on equal vision a brahmana and an outcast, because they are they are both like spirit souls. Spirit soul is there in the heart of brahmana, in the heart of an outcast. So he has this respect and equal vision to both of them. But on the practical level, he can go and embrace the brahmana, if brahmana is his friend. And to this outcast, he offer his respect in a different way. He doesn't embrace, but he can offer by his respectful glance or words or something like that. But there is no way that we should scorn or contempt somebody in a Vedic society like that. We may, as we learn from Bhagavatam, that we can disapprove somebody's behavior. That is not good. Disapprove, but not like contempt, because there is spirit soul in everybody's body, and we should not show any contempt to anybody, because then we offend also the spirit, the super soul in the heart of the person. But disapprove somebody's bad behavior, that is of course possible. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that a society concerned only with manufacturing new cars and new skyscrapers every year and then breaking them to pieces and making new ones may be technologically advanced, but it is not a human civilization. A human civilization is advanced when its people follow the Saturn-Varna system. So the civilized society is defined here, that our society which falls to the category that Prabhupada is here describing. It's actually not civilized society, and of course we know it, and everybody knows it. Nowadays they know it. It is not civilized society, but what you can do, just you have to follow. Okay, we know that it's not like that. And these Varnas Dharma, called also Sanatana Dharma somewhere, this is established by a Vedic king, and Vedic king also maintains it. He observes that it is maintained. Sometimes we think that how do we get this Varnas Dharma system? Well, at least at first we should live in our own society like they live in Varnasrama Dharma system. It's not mean that it artificially made these categories Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, but this behavior is the same. And this worship and this respect all living entities, we should learn first in our own society. But is it our duty to establish this? According to Bhagavatam, it is said that it's a very king who does that. And the Brahmanas, they give instructions. And then he establishes the Varnasrama Dharma system, and he also sees that it is followed. Okay, thank you a little bit about Indira. What was the Ekadasi? Indira Ekadasi. It is today. Indira Ekadasi means that we are fasting from grains and beans, pulses, and we are chanting at least 16 rounds Hare Krishna mantra today. So it was story in Purana that once there was a king named Indrasena, who was very pious, following all religious rules and regulations and rituals and so on. He was the devotee of Lord Vishnu. And once he saw that Narada Muni is descending from the sky. Descending, yes, I think so. Descending from the sky, and he came to see the king. The king, of course, as now we learn from this verse, that he offered his respects to Narada Muni, put him to sit on his throne and washed his feet and worshipped him. And then he asked from him that, how can I serve you, oh great sage? Narada Muni then explained that I visited Yamaraja's kingdom and I saw that your, father was there. So then when your father saw me, he told me, or shouted from somewhere, that please go and see my son, the King Indrasen, and tell him that by some mistake I have fallen to the hell, and please ask him to deliver me from this hell. And then it was explained that mistake was that he was following Ekadasi once, then he broke the Ekadasi too early. But this is not the reason to fall to hell, but it was like a trigger because he had some sinful activities. And this was a trigger, then he had to go to see the Yamaraj and suffer there. So Narada Muni told this to King Indrasena, then Indrasena, he was very compassionate and wanted to help his father and asked from Narada Muni what to do. Narada Muni then explained that soon there is Ekadasi name in the month of Ashwini in Krishna Paksha. He described the time when the Ekadasi is. On that Ekadasi, you should perform fasting and then you should do some worship during that Ekadasi. And then at Ekadasi night you should not go to sleep, you should do some worship or some reading the scriptures or something. Then during the night, on the morning, then you should again take bath and worship the Supreme Lord, and then you should feed the brahmanas and your family members. And when after everybody is satisfied, then you should take your own meal. And if you follow this procedure, then your father is delivered from the hell. Not only that he attains heaven, but he attains the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. And so then King Indra Sena, he followed this procedure, and then on the Dwarasi morning he could see that his father was ascending from the hell to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. Now we may ask that, should we do also like that? But Srila Prabhupada, he gave us the way to celebrate Ekadasi. It's a little different. So we follow our spiritual master who has given us instructions how do we follow Ekadasi. And this is that what I said, that fasting from grains and these beans and pulses, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and following our daily program at home or in the temple, wherever we are. And then at night we don't have to try to be wake up. We can do it if we want, but it's not necessary. We can sleep and take rest, and on the next morning again we follow this spiritual program. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Comments or questions? Yeah.
We spoke about envy a little bit and pride. The envy that if someone feels envy towards another devotee, what is the way to combat this? Is it just to pray to Lord Nityananda, or take shelter in holy name, or what? Is there any other actions that we can do if we see that we have envy towards other devotees? Should we just pray?
Yeah, we can. That's very good to pray for Nityananda. There's no doubt about it. But we can do that. We serve that. We are try to find a way to serve that devotee. That is said to be very good medicine against envy, and usually it works. You find a way to serve that devotee one way or other, or then you can also praise him. To try to find some way to praise him like that is also good. It's a kind of service also. But I would like to separate these two things, being envious and acting enviously. These are two different things. Of course, the cause is envy, but we don't have to act enviously if we are conscious that we are envious at something. Then we don't act enviously. And then we can take this medicine that we try to serve the person. But envious we can be, and this of course happens many times, because this is the reason why we are in this material world. Everybody is envious of Krishna, everybody is envious of each other. Then therefore it's not a surprise that we sometimes see that we are envious of somebody. But acting enviously, this is detrimental. We should not act enviously, also we are envious of. Yeah, in this way. Okay.
So we just overgo the envy if it appears from our heart. So we just, it's there, but we just.
Yeah, you can, if you can see it, okay, it's there, but I don't act according to that dictation. But it's serving others, it's good. Therefore, it's always good to serve devotees. And the morning we offer this Vansakalatharupyacha is also very good, because many devotees are here, or at home we can do it also to all devotees in the congregation, to offer this Respect to obeisance to the Vaishnavas, this also nullifies our envy. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Oh,
14. Next, 14.
se on vaarallista olla tällainen kateellinen henkisluokan. Joo. Se on henkisen elämän loppu. Pitkäksi se on.